Hi everybody, this is day 2 of Parallel and Perpendicular. So I wanted to remind you, we have this poster, remember it's back on the back wall where we have all the linear stuff, so in your Unit 3 things. So on the form, I actually, toward the beginning, have the links to all these posters that you can go pull them up. They're also under resources, but they're on this form if you want to go back and look at those. Parallel. If the lines are parallel, meaning they're like railroad tracks, they never intersect. If they're parallel, they have the exact same slope. If this has a slope of 5, that one has a slope of 5. If this one has a slope of 1/3, this one has a slope of 1/3. So they are the same slope. Parallel lines will have the same slope. So if you know the slope of one line, you know the slope of the other one. Perpendicular, on the other hand, are just that. They're perpendicular. They intersect. They are going to cross, and they're crossing at 90 degrees. That little kind of box in the corner means it's 90 degrees. That means this is a symbol for perpendicular. It's an upside down T, and they are intersecting at 90 degrees. So if they are perpendicular, we also know the slopes if you know one of them. What you can do is one will be going up with a positive slope, the other will be going down with a negative slope. So perpendicular lines will always have the opposite sign on their slopes. If the slope of the red line is a positive 2/3, its perpendicular line will have a slope of negative 3/2. They are opposite signs, but you also take and flip the fraction upside down. That's the reciprocal. So 2/3 becomes 3/2. Positive becomes negative. So perpendicular lines will have the opposite reciprocal, opposite sign, and flipped upside down. So let's go look at today's worksheet. Yesterday we were just practicing with just the slope numbers themselves. Today we're going to practice with equations. So this is how a lot of them tend to be on the STAR test. They'll say find the slope of a line that's perpendicular to this line. So we're not looking for the equation of this line. We're looking for a new line, okay? So we're looking for a new one. And mine is going to be perpendicular. So as soon as you see the word perpendicular, you might want to draw yourself a little symbol, something to make you remember, oh yeah, it's not the same slope, it's different. But I do need to know the slope of this line so I can write the slope of my perpendicular line. So when you look at this, is this jogging your memory? It's not in y equals format, but is it y with the number on the left and on the right-hand side of the equal sign, x's with the number in parentheses over here? Yes, this is point slope form. Remember, point slope form is y minus y1 is equal to m, the slope, parentheses, x minus x1. So we drop in an x number and a y number. That's the point that the line goes through, and the slope is here. So when you see this, you should go, oh, yes, there's the slope right there in front of the parentheses. My slope is 2 in this one. Now, do I want parallel? No, I want perpendicular. So right now it is a positive 2/1. I take my whole number, make it into a fraction. So my perpendicular slope is going to be opposite sign, which is negative, and it's going to be 1/2. So this is what I am looking for, is -1/2 for the perpendicular one. And which one is that? You're right, it is C. All right, so there's that. Number 2, find the slope of a line parallel to this line. So if it's parallel, will it be the same or different? This will be the same. So if you want to write the little railroad tracks to remind you that it's going to be the same slope, or even write the word same. But can I see it in this form of an equation? No, this is the form that you can't see anything. This is the standard form with the x and the y on one side together. I can't see anything. So the only thing I can do is solve it for y so I can see the slope. So I'm going to subtract 2x on both sides, and there's no way to do this in the graphing calculator. This is one you just got to be able to do. So 4y comes down, the equal sign comes down. We rewrite these with the x term first and the positive 4 at the end. Come back, we need to get 4 by itself. This is a multiplication problem, so we're going to undo by dividing. If I do it to one side, I do it to both pieces on the other side. Now, the only thing I'm concerned about is the slope, which is this one in front of the x. So put -2/4 in the calculator, and it will tell you this is a -1/2 x. So the x I didn't put the x in, I just put the numbers in, -2/4. So my slope is a -1/2. Did I want the same slope? Parallel is the same, so I want the exact same number, -1/2. -1/2 is D. So pay attention to whether they're looking for parallel or perpendicular, because that tells you whether you're going to find the same slope or if you need to do the opposite sign and flip it. Okay, so now we're getting into the equation versions. Find the equation of a line that's parallel to this line. I don't want this line. I want one that's parallel to this one, and my new line is going to go through this point. So I am looking for a new line. My new slope, is it parallel? Yes, that means it's going to be the same. So what's the slope of this line? It's in y equals format, so you can see the slope right there. So my slope is the same. It will also be 1/2. Oh, and look, all the answers are in y equals format. Can you get rid of anything that doesn't have a positive 1/2? Yes, get rid of B and get rid of D. It is not those two answers because they have a negative slope, not positive 1/2. So at least you can roll off some answers. Now at this point, I know if you did not have a graphing calculator, you could do plug and chug. You could plug in 2 for the x, do this math, and see if it equals -2. But since we have graphing calculators, can I just put these equations in because they are in y equals format, which means I can put them in the graphing calculator and just go look at their table. One of these two lines is going to go through to -2 and the other one will not. So go find the one that works. Put it in the table, go find it. Remember, you got your answer key that you can go back and check your answers. Same thing with this one. Find the equation of a line that's perpendicular to this line. I am not looking for this line. I want a line that's perpendicular to it. So my new slope, they gave me this information just so I would know the slope of my new perpendicular line, right? So my new perpendicular line, if the slope of this one is -2, is my new line going to be -2? No, mine is perpendicular. It's going to be the opposite sign and flipped. So instead of 2/1, it's going to be a positive 1/2. So there was my original line. Mine is perpendicular, so my slope is 1/2. Look at your answer choices. They're in y equals format. I can see the slope in them. Should I pick the ones that say -2? No, my slope is positive 1/2. So I'm going to get rid of C and D. It's one of these two equations. The question is, which one? Without a graphing calculator, plug and chug. Put -3 in for the x. Do this math, whatever this is, 1/2 times that -3, add -5/2, and see if it equals -4. We don't need to do that, though, because we have a graphing calculator on STAAR test day, and they're in y equals format. So put them in the calculator one at a time, type them in, go check the table, and see if it goes through -3, -4. When x is -3, is the y -4. One of those two will go through that point. So use your graphing calculator when you have equations in y equals format. Number 5, find the equation of this line that's parallel to this one. Is this equation in a format where I can see the slope? No, this is standard form. The x and y are on one side. I cannot see the slope in that. So I don't know what my slope is to look for down here. It's either -3/2 or +3/2. I just don't know which one. So the only way to find it is to go solve this equation for y. So you're going to draw your line. You're going to add 3x to both sides. And then rewrite the whole thing. I have a positive 2y is equal to 3y, positive 3y, minus 5. And then divide by 2, because this is a multiplication problem. And both pieces over here get divided by 2. So this is a positive 3 divided by positive 2, so this is a positive 3/2. So am I going to keep a? No, it has a -3/2. Oh, I should have checked. So this, before I even did that, the slope is -3/2 of this original equation. Do I want parallel or perpendicular? We do want parallel, so I do want the same slope. So I would kind of double check that because I get carried away and just jump to the 3/2 when they could have been asking for perpendicular. So I do want the same slope 3/2. So I am going to get rid of A and I am going to get rid of D. But always double check that because just like then I jumped to that conclusion without double checking it. So I am looking for this one. Now, without a graphing calculator, sure, plug and chug. Take the 2, plug it in for the x, do the math on this side, see if you get 4. However, we've got graphing calculators for the STAAR test, and these are in y equals format. Type the equation in, check its table. If it goes through 2, 4, then it's your winner. If not, go check the other one. Okay, so I'm letting you guys do 6 and 8. 7 I haven't looked at yet, but this is also, parallel. So we're looking for a parallel line to this one. The good news is this one in point slope form? Yes, there's a y on the left and an x and a number on the right with a number in front of the parentheses. So that number is my slope. Okay, so my slope is -2. Do I want a line that's parallel or perpendicular? I want parallel. That means they're going to be the same slope. So since this one's -2, my slope is also -2. So let's get rid of some. Ooh, we can get rid of C and D because they have a positive 2. I want the same slope. And then, again, all these answer choices are in y equals, so I can put them in the calculator, go look at their table. When x is -3, the y should be a -2. So don't be afraid to put them in the calculator. I'm going to let you guys do 6 and 8 on your own. Remember to be sure and check the answer key to double check that you're getting these right. This is a pretty new concept. I'm going to just do a couple from up here. This time, they want you to write them in point slope form. So they don't have answer choices A, B, C, D, but we're just going to write these. In order to write in point slope form, I need to know a point that the line goes through, and I need to know the slope of the line. That's the only two things I need to know in order to write this. The slope goes here, the y number goes here, and the x number goes here. So in the point, the x number goes here, the y number goes there, the slope goes here. Remember, this is on your formula chart that they're going to give you. All right, did they give me a point? Yes, yay, I'm halfway there. Did they give me the slope? Well, they kind of did. My line is going to be parallel to this line. So that means they're going to be the same slope. All I got to do is know the slope of this line. Is it in y equals format? Yes. So the number in front of the x is your slope. So negative 3/4 is the slope of my line. So mine's going to be y minus, and this is where the y number goes. My y number is a 2 equals m. My m is a negative 3/4, so that goes here. Parentheses. I'm literally just following this down. Y minus y equals m parentheses x minus the x number. So I did the y minus y equals m parentheses x minus the x number, and the x number is a 4, and close it off. That is the equation. That is all you're doing, is dropping in the slope number, dropping in the x and the y, the point. 4 and 2. Okay, so you've got several of these to go do. You've got either parallel or perpendicular, so you may have to remember sometimes they're going to be the same, sometimes they're going to be opposite reciprocals. So I'll let you practice those, and then you can go check them on the answer key. Let's look at the bottom section. Now these are going to be parallel and perpendicular to the x or y axis. So these help to draw a picture when they start talking about x and y axis. So as soon as I see that it's parallel to the x-axis, I draw myself a little picture. This is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. If I want to have an equation of a line that's parallel to the x-axis, here is my x-axis. Does that mean my line is going to look like this? Or is my line going to look like this? This would be perpendicular to the x-axis. It's at 90 degrees. This is parallel to the x-axis. So I am looking for a horizontal line, right? My new line, I'm going to make it dash. My new line is going to be a horizontal line of some kind, right? It could be up here, it could be down here. I don't know where it is, I just know it's horizontal. So as soon as I know which one it is, I write either Hoy or Vux. My line is a Hoy because it's horizontal, which means it starts with y equals a number. Look at the point that they're going through. Y equals, what is the y number? 5. What is the equation of this line? Y equals 5. That's simple. Yeah, it's because Hoy and Vux is either going to be x equals a number or y equals a number. If you know a point, it's either y equals 5 or it's x equals 2. And since this was a Hoy, it's going to be the y equals the 5. So, but a picture helps you sort through that. So don't be afraid of drawing a picture. That was parallel. Let's do a perpendicular one. This one says my line is going to go through 2, 5, and it's going to be perpendicular to the x-axis. Perpendicular. So, and it's the x-axis. So make yourself a little x and y axis. I'm drawing my axis right now. Okay. So here's my x and y axis. I just drew that. I want it perpendicular to the x. So is it this perpendicular, or is this perpendicular to the x? Now don't look at the y. I'm just looking at the x. This is parallel. This is perpendicular. So it's just like the y-axis. So you're looking for a line that's doing this. It's vertical. Might be over here. Might be over here. Now, if you want to, you could sketch where this point is. It's over 2 and up 5, so it's somewhere over here. So if you want to, you could visualize that it's a line doing this. Okay? It's a line doing that. It's going through 2 and up 5. So I kind of just estimated where the point was. I just went over 2 and up 5. So it's a vertical line. So as soon as you know it's a vertical line, write yourself Vux. V-U-X. If it's Vux, that means it starts with x equals a number. What is the x number it's going through? It is going through 2. So the equation is just x equals 2. That is your answer. We are writing the equations of these lines. So Hoy and Vux are your friends when they have parallel and perpendicular to the x or the y axes. Okay? So I'm going to let you finish that off. Check your answers. We have a test this Friday, so make sure you're getting them right. Email me or get on the Zoom at 4:20 if you have questions. Bye, everybody.